As the ball's in flight, he's on his way out and leaving his post. He's leaving the 6-yard box.
One of the most...
They score from that. That would do you as a manager.
Don't you think one of the most under-prepared things in football is the second phase of a set piece? The first phase you're always prepared for. I think it's Aurier who's marking Vecino. He's ball watching, he sees it, and Vecino decides to run in behind, and Aurier's ball watching. And that second phase, people aren't prepared.
It's responsibility, though, Glenn, like you said.
Responsibility. I actually looked at him because I thought we were in here saying, well, I wonder if you leave Mauro up. Yeah. And I thought, where is he? And I was looking at him. I said, he's in the 6-yard box, as you've been told. Anyway, you're there. As the ball's in flight, he's on his way out to the edge of the penalty area. Now, if I'm picking up and I see my teammate there, I say, well, I'll look after this guy because you've got him. Suddenly the ball's in flight. He leaves his post.
I can almost guarantee if we went over clips of Lucas Moura the last 50 games he's played, he probably was never in that position. So he's not used to being there. Regardless of that, he should take responsibility. But some players' minds just straight away switch into attack mode. In Lucas Moura's mind, he's thinking, I'm going to get the winner. You know, he's not thinking I'm hanging on to save, you know, the point here. He's thinking I'm up the field. Find me, Michel Vorm.
And he did so well when he came on, didn't he? With the ball, he was brilliant.
He was great,
brilliant. But he's just let the team down, and himself and his manager. If you go back there, take responsibility. If not, get on the edge of the box. Ah, dear,
You're so frustrated,
I'm so
aren't you?
frustrated.
What's the major frustration for you? The result here, or in the context of the back-to-back defeats, needing to get something out of this game?
The result. A draw would have been absolutely spot on. It wasn't a great game. Spurs weren't at their best, and Inter were there for the taking, actually. But second half, they pressed it better. They got closer together. They put in a half-decent shift. And they're in a winning position. All right, take half a bar. If you can't take the whole bar, take half a bar, and then you start, you know, putting some foundations in for your next result coming around the corner.
How big a test is this of Maurizio Pochettino? 3 defeats on the bounce, 2 of them from winning positions. He makes a big call to leave 2 of his first-choice players at home. He then manages to make substitutions that help Tottenham to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
I thought they were the better team. I thought there was a 10-minute spell at the end of the game where they didn't manage the game correctly, which you need to in the Champions League. You need to see the game out. That Inter team I thought, were bang average. And that's the type of game you should win, but you take a draw. And to lose the game, I think it was a sucker punch, really, because for me, Spurs were the better team in the game, but they found a way to give away the game at the end. And I don't think...
Do you think that's what they did?
I don't even think Inter believed they could win the game. The last 10 minutes was the only time we really saw them. Before Icardi scored that wonder goal, did they have a shot on target? I don't think they had any yet.
That's what I meant by kind of... We almost invited them back to the party to an extent. You know, Spurs had them right up against the ropes in that second half.
And they were bossing it, weren't they?
They were getting into great positions. I think of at least 2 positions Lamela gets into where he just fails to cut it back. Probably should have done a little bit better. Lucas Moura had a couple of occasions as well. And at that point, you're thinking... They seemed to have the press right as well. They were doing it as a unit, doing it as a team. And then when they went back to that kind of 3 in the middle, which they played at the weekend against Liverpool, it became kind of disjointed again. I mean, in my mind, you know, sometimes football gets you like this. You think you've hit rock bottom, and then you realise, actually, no, you know, this maybe is rock. I think this is probably one of Maurizio's lowest points he will find himself, or has found himself as a Tottenham manager. But I believe, you know, he can get them out of it. It will turn around.
90 minutes of football, there's different phases. When you start a game, it's to win in the middle of a game, and certainly at the end. You could be chasing a game, or you could be trying to save a game. It changes. You have to adapt to that. Tottenham, I didn't see. That was a Liverpool last year. How many times do you see Liverpool 1-0 up or 2-0 up, and they give the game away? They don't manage the game in that 10-minute spell. Why not bank up and press like you've never pressed before? Put some fresh legs on, but make sure you're compact so you don't end up... That lovely cross that they put in, there should have been a player on the edge of that box, no doubt about it. Bodies should be behind the ball.
Could have got 3 in there.
See the game out.
Could have been a couple there, couldn't there? There could have been a couple on the edge of the box.
See the game out. Cover each area. Don't have to play. Don't have to create at the other end. We're winning this game. In a European game, if you give the emphasis to the away side in Europe, I tell you, you get that feeling. And on the bench, as a manager, you know it's coming. And as a player, you have to make sure you never get to that level. You kill it dead. You kill it at source.
You're the only one of the 4 of us that sat there as a manager in a dugout. What does it tell you about Maurizio Pochettino's mindset, those substitutions that he made this evening? Do you think that he's feeling like his back's against the wall a little bit?
I don't think you can 100% blame him for them substitutions, you know, to put Rose on and fresh legs and tighten it up a little. It's the emphasis of the team. I see them still in the last 10 minutes, I saw some players going on their own, pressing on their own, leaving a big hole behind them, and then they get the ball in it, then it goes out to the left-hand side and they get a crossing. I'm saying you've got to become, for that 10 minutes, see the game out, be solid. Something Liverpool couldn't do last year. Yeah. They've done it. They've done it this year because I think they've got more solid base to go from.
He's trying to help his team get over the line.
I agree.
That's what those decisions are the basis of. He's thinking, how can I be a part of this and help right now? Because I know my team are low on confidence, struggling to get over.
It's about getting it right, though, isn't it?
Jake, 95% of managers make that sub.
Yeah.
Make that, take off an attacker and put on somebody to control the game. Get another body in there, keep the ball as they did, and pick them off. But maybe it needed the physical presence of Wanyama, you know, that somebody a bit more defensive thinking. I think his idea was a bit safer, and it's probably the right one. But when it doesn't come off, then people are going to question it.
But there's something lacking in the modern game. You need a leader out there. You need someone out there to identify it. To say to Harry Kane, what do you think you're going up there for? Hey, what you got? Come and sit in here with us. Make it tight. Let's see that we've got 10 minutes to go. There's nothing of that in football anymore. It's going out of the game. It's always the manager that has to make the changes from the side. Let the players take some responsibility and actually identify what's needed at that moment, and then you respond. You get a kick up the backside in a way. You're winning 1-0, we've got a great result. But no, we'll still play the same way. We're still going to... No. Get nice and tight. Make it ugly and horrible for 10 minutes. Win the game. You're on the plane. Great result.
I love that. You're lost to the dugout, by the way, sitting there delivering a message like that. Right, let's get some reaction very quickly. Reshman is with Serge Aurier.